One might ask what it was like to be a Vietnam soldier. They will tell you, it was absolute chaos. They thought they were doing their duty as a soldier for their country and had no idea or what they were up against. Jungle, snakes, spiders, booby traps, heat, humidity, torrents of rain, foot rot, scabs on their body from cuts that got infected from moisture and dirt. The horrors of the war also led many soldiers into a fog of drugs just to cope. They had no idea what type of enemy they were up against, and the American government had underestimated their enemy. They were picking off American soldiers left and right until the Americans had obtained their own snipers. There was racism as well. Often the blacks felt the whites were sending them out on the most dangerous of patrols, and in some cases, they did. When Martin Luther King was assassinated, this also aroused the black Americans to rebel to a point. It was difficult for American soldiers to tell the Viet Cong from the villagers, and yes, the soldiers had no options but to kill civilians because often the Viet Cong would hide behind them or hide their weapons in the villages. Fear was a factor in this case for the villagers. They were caught between the Viet Cong and the American soldiers. There were tunnels everywhere in some villages where the Viet Cong hid out, as well as the tunnels throughout the jungle. Booby traps were everywhere. Pits were built and bamboo shanks were pushed into the pit. Then the hole was covered and often American soldiers would plunge to their deaths. Mothers would hand a soldier their baby, or a little boy would walk up to a soldier and the baby would have a grenade attached to it, or the little boy would throw a grenade at the soldier. Hard to believe, but it actually happened. Unfortunately, this is where the good old America back home heard the term baby killers. You can thank some of the reporters for this misleading bits of news. Only a very few reporters actually bothered to care enough to get the real story from the American soldiers. Reporters were more into sensationalizing their reporting for a step up the old ladder. Not all were like this, and many lost their lives reporting the Vietnam War. Luckily, the truth did leak out back to the US. By the end of the Vietnam War, the casualties were higher than the public was told. The men were brought home, but there were rumors that stated there were still POWs left behind. The Vietnam government denied this, but it is certainly highly probable. The soldiers that came home were not only broken in body, but mind and spirit. They came back to the call of baby killers and were spat on. No one took the time to hear their side of the story. Not all American citizens treated the Vietnam veterans in a shabby way, but it was very difficult for them to find jobs, and many were ravaged by nightmares.